are live. Not sometimes, Mr. Michaels. I don't know if you're there or not, but if you see this, you will. Oh, let's see. It is June 28th. Oh, it's already July. Well, the hot tub will be here in 2 weeks, so that'll be good. HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders on YouTube, Heartland Defenders here on Facebook is where you're watching us now. It's been 2 weeks since I've done this, so I'm a little rusty. Let's see. Let's get Mike and Jacob in here. Let's see. What's
we haven't
better?
done.
There we go.
Are you freaking rusty?
Why am I rusty? It's been 2 weeks, man. I haven't been thinking about this. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one.
True.
So it's you guys had a long weekend. When did you get home, Cosper?
2:30 probably, I guess. But I didn't make it down there till 2:30 on Saturday. So
Nice.
yeah, what are you gonna do?
So
Work.
those that don't know, we had a camping weekend that we went down to in a non-disclosed location.
We'll just call it South.
Yeah.
Remote part of Ohio.
Yeah. Once you get past what is that? Canton? Everything's fucking remote. Once you get past Canton.
True. That was the first time I was there, though. It's pretty remote.
I'm upset I didn't make it. I'm a little, car issues was not okay.
Well,
It's still not even fixed. So.
Yeah, the person said we could pretty much come down whenever. It doesn't have to be. So, because Dylan and I were just talking about, because A&A, dude, you can't get into A&A until August.
Oh my, yeah. Well, they're still doing their whole. You gotta reserve time and only one set of people at a time at each thing, and
dude, I just did them. I just asked them. Yeah, they don't have any open time June through end of June, July. And then August, they're going back to their regular format.
So they're waiting all the way till August? I'm surprised because there's shooting ranges, indoor shooting ranges that are already back to first come, first serve.
Well, for work, the paperwork we got, beginning of the year, shortly after the beginning of the year for the COVID stuff, It was supposed to expire like the first of this month, I think. They extended that to the first of next month, and we just got an email a couple days ago. They're extending it to August 1st. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, see,
I'm going to say right around November 4th or 5th, I think they're going to be like, what? We told you couldn't go outside?
No, I've been going outside. I'm going to tell you now. I do keep distance. Was at the store today. I still do the distancing. I do not mask up. I do not. And people are going to tell me you're being disrespectful to other people. No, I'm not. I know I don't have it. You know why I know I don't have it? Because I had it at some point. And you know what? Tough. I'm going to the store. I'm doing my thing. I'm not going to wear a mask.
I'm just a jerk and don't wear one.
What's going to be the best is when they just start telling all the people that if you were sick in November, December, and early January, and they just told you it was a severe upper respiratory infection, you need to go be tested for the antibodies. That's when it's going to be good, because then they're just going to be like, everybody had it.
Well, so they're freely doing the antibody tests up here, but right now the antibody test is only about 50% accurate. So at least that's the last number I heard. Hello, John.
Well, you're meeting us again. Somebody didn't make it, but I won't name names.
I don't know who that is. Hey, I got things half done this weekend.
Over that guy to that guy. Jump over the next guy.
It was good, but I don't know. I mean, go on with your thought. It irritates me off it, but
and it does. I mean, because and this is what I'm kind of leading into what we were talking about right before we got on here. We're kind of free ranging it today, guys. I'm not that you're gonna notice because we squirrel so much anyways. But so a lot of people will jump my crap, I'm sure. Not on here because a lot of people feel the same way on here. don't need your masks. But a lot of people that I'm friends with would jump my crap if they knew that I went everywhere without a mask. Like, I don't know if I have one even in my car. Because I'll just turn around. If somebody tells me I can't enter a store, I turn around and leave. I'll go to another store that sells the same stuff and not worry about it. Like Menards, for example. I may have to go to Menards, though. I really may have to go. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm still going to try to keep not going there, though. I'll do everything else. But the problem is, though, so not only the COVID thing, but what else is going on with the whole Black Lives Matter thing and supporting or not supporting, or it's racist.
Is there something going on with them? Oh.
If you guys haven't noticed,
24 hours, you have not lost all sense of reality.
If you have not noticed, I've been very quiet on Facebook. Well, pretty quiet on Facebook.
I'm trying to.
Because I've been watching a lot of arguments, a lot of people jumping on people's posts and just starting fights, starting arguments. I'm watching friendships going down the drain over fighting on Facebook. Now, most of us know the saying about fighting on the internet. I won't say it.
It's okay. You can.
No. Not the one I'm thinking of. I'm not.
What are they gonna do? Shut it off?
Oh, yes. Yes. And the reason being is because there's a lot of, and the reason why I'm being careful is I'm watching a lot of high dollar faces on Facebook, Twitch. They're all getting removed, and people don't know why yet.
High dollar, bud.
Well, but I'm saying is if they're willing to remove somebody that's making hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million, on a video game platform because of something he could have possibly have said that may have been offensive or racist, I'm not risking it because they'll rip us down in a second.
Dude, you know what's funny? You know, talking on this subject, I was just watching Airplane, and I can't believe it was actually on, because as sensitive as people are right now.
On TV?
Was it on TV?
Yeah, it's on Sundance Channel. It's on
Sundance. Sundance is a little. They're like a couple other movie channels.
Generation, sir.
Yeah, they'll tend to let things slide compared to.
It's pretty hilarious. I mean, it's the kind of thing. Watching that and you know how people used to be so unoffended and shit was just funny.
The meme that really makes me laugh,
drives me,
that really hits me, is the one about the generation that's been raised by The Simpsons and South Park are the most offended. How the fuck are you offended by this so easily? When you've watched both those shows, I know you have. South Park, Simpsons, what else? All the offenses.
And where did it? Was it all during Obama? Was it before Obama? When did it start?
It was before Obama.
Simpsons started early 90s.
Started early 80s, bud.
Early 80s.
Yeah, well, no, I get that. No, but
he's asking when the butt hurt.
Where did people start getting butthurt about that kind? And they're still not as, you know, now I haven't watched any of those shows in forever. Ugh. So I don't know if they've toned them down or made them more PC or
show. It's not the show. It's not, oh, you watched The Simpsons and South Park and now you're butthurt about everything else. Really pay attention to what you look at on the Facebook and the Instagram and all the videos you watch. Mm-hmm. They're only butthurt when they're told to be butthurt and about what to be butthurt over.
Right.
So if somebody right now, you know, the Aunt Jemima, if somebody right now told them to be butthurt over Chef from South Park and how they make fun of it and his chocolate salty balls, they would all of a sudden be offended by a show that they weren't offended by 15 minutes ago.
Right.
But how come you know, and I only know from seeing it from people posting things from the show, because I haven't watched. Saturday Night Live is a great. Saturday Night Live does the most offensive shit ever, but because it's pointed at conservatives, nobody's butthurt about it.
God, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'm gonna do it.
No, you can't do this. You started it.
Well, I did, but the rabbit hole I'm going to take us down is a rocky one.
Let's go.
Climbing gear.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I got a rope somewhere. Go ahead.
I got rope.
Okay.
So, what was your question again?
Well, but how come a show? I mean, we've all seen they do some heinous stuff on.
Oh yes.
On Saturday Night Live. I mean, heinous stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, that's comedy."
Well, and again, it is, but when you do see, they do get really butthurt when the comedy's pointed the other direction, and I hate that I'm pointing directions.
Yeah, I know.
You guys
but
know me.
True.
I don't like the directions. There shouldn't be two directions.
Well,
no, there shouldn't be.
The direction is there. You can go right now and look. Matter of fact, I was listening to it on the way home from our camping weekend. There was an actor that was in the Rambo movie, not Rambo First Blood, but the one that came out in the 2000s, just called Rambo. Stallone Rambo.
Yeah.
A British actor who has become a very patriotic American. He's learned the lesson. He's learned the history. He understands the revolution. He's a patriotic American. He made a private funded movie called I Am That Guy. Or I am that man. I'm sorry. I Am That Man. The premise of the movie is soldiers with PTSD. The enemy of the enemy of the movie, the bad guy of the movie is like a Nazi skinhead, but he had a laundry list of veterans go over the script and rewrite edits into the script of what he was putting in it that was wrong and how it was wrong and why it needed to be this way. It's true to form. And the liberal Hollywood is trying to just blacklist this guy. I mean, he's got 10 or 15 movies under his big budget movies. Not Black Hawk Down. He was in Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well,
but at the same time, when we're talking about pointing fingers, at the same time, in the past year, you've got an entire movie that's completely, blatantly liberal, left-leaning, socialist-type people essentially purging conservative right-wing people.
Right. Well, see, and it's okay, and that's what's funny is it's okay to be funny and offensive if it's pointed in one direction. But when it's pointed back the other direction, trying to be funny, look at how many comedians that have said the wrong thing, that other comedians have said the exact same thing, but because of the way they lean, they got shit and basically got blacklisted in a lot of places compared to the left leaning. Man, I can't see. This is how much I don't care about the directions.
I know.
Well, see, to you, that's see, your left is my no. Anyways, well, and my problem is so that kind of your left being my right, whatever. For me, where I sit, I get a lot of shit from both sides because of the fact of where I sit. One side tells me I'm a fence sitter, and I might as well be left. The other side tells me that because I have right tendencies and beliefs, that I'm a racist white man and that I have no say in anything. And I'm like, and then you got Jane ready to stab somebody in the face because they said that, but that's a different story.
Right, but there's days Jane will stab you in the face for something you said because it's too white.
Hey,
so.
I think she wanted to stab me today, so I think we're good. I was being a dick this morning.
Think about it, man. How many of these videos have you seen where and I don't know if you where people just fly off the handle because somebody's carrying a flag? How many of these videos have you seen? people just fly off the handle violently because somebody's wearing a hat. I don't care if it's red, blue, green, purple. It could say "Make America Stupid Again," and they're just going to beat the living crap out of somebody because they think they've been told that that's racist, evil, homophobic, Islamophobic, every other,
because they've been
every
told
hot
that.
word that they can come up with to incite fear, anger, and violence.
Well, my favorite thing is,
that's, I guess, my question problem is, where did that even start? I mean, we all know there was a video recording of the, grab them in the pussy thing. So, I mean, we know where the kind of the, misogynist, stuff comes from, where he's, horrible to women. You can at least see that, okay, yeah, what he said was, whatever, is in the private, he thought in the privacy of conversation, but I can at least see when people say something about like that, I get, okay, I get it. I get how you feel that way. But what is he done? Like, what has he done to the LGBT community that makes them so in an uproar? Actually done.
Now, wait, Cosper. You are taking an entire community of people. We have to be above that level.
But they are not
some of the LGBT community, because we know LGBTQ members of that community that don't believe that crap.
Oh no, but there's a large themselves. There's more that believe it than don't believe it.
I will disagree. But
where does that come from? Where?
And also the whole racist aspect of things, that he's
exactly
a downright racist. Where does that come from? And when you ask them, they can't give you a full-on straight answer other than just go look. He's racist.
The go-to is the way back in, what was that, the early 80s or late 70s, when, supposedly New York did the undercover thing and, had a black couple go and try and get an apartment at, him and his dad's places. And more often than not, it was white people that got into the, now you never know the specifics of it. But that's like, they took like a crumb this big and racist.
Right.
And it's, but most of them can't even cite that. On a good note, have you guys seen that Trump has executive ordered the complete overhaul of the hiring process for the federal government to remove the requirements for a degree, and job applicants will be primarily based off of skill, not degrees?
Which is where it should go back to for everybody that hires, not just our government. Because I'm telling you what, right now, I work with people that have certain degrees. I won't name them because if they ever see this video, they'll know I'm talking about them. They are so fucking stupid.
Well, getting a college degree doesn't always make you a genius. I mean, that's for sure.
Well, they know the actual what that degree is, but don't take them outside of that thin line of what the degree was, because everything else outside of that, they're like, huh?
I've worked for people running an entire business. I won't say the specifics of the business, but let's just say the degree of their management, their management degree in a specific category of management type had nothing to do with what they were managing.
Oh, a lot of places you just have to have a degree, period. They don't even care what the degree's in.
But I will say, I personally know the people, when they got rid of the guy with the random degree that was managing because he had a random business degree, and put a guy in that didn't have a degree but had done that job for 20-some years, that business tripled, if not quadrupled, its income yearly. So you can make the case that, yeah, he might say some shit that's not really conducive to good conversation, but he's actually trying to make shit right for this country. If you...
Oh, great.
The problem is with your question, where did it come from? it came from the mainstream media having the ability to edit everything down to what they wanted to say.
Well, but where's that? But that's the thing. There's not even that. Again, if there was a video somewhere with him saying, yeah, no, I wouldn't hire a gay guy at my place. If there was something, but there's no, there where?
When he made the speeches during his first run for nomination about how the MS-13 were animals, they edited that down.
They are.
But they edited that down.
And they're not gay, so I don't think that qualifies. But go on.
They convinced all the simple-minded, non-critically thinking individuals that statement, played thousands of times over, wasn't about MS-13. It was all Mexicans are murderers, rapists, and animals. All of them.
Again, I get that, and fine. Totally off subject. Doesn't go back to the LGBT community.
Right. The only thing that anybody's ever brought to me is the actually, what was it? Not too long ago. I don't know the date. It was early June when they removed the non-discrimination protection for healthcare for LGBT. So there was some clause.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
First thing that I've heard that is against
but
the LGBT community.
Does that say he's against? Is he homophobic? No.
No, he's been removing regulations on every industry.
Well, I think if you really
so that business is easier to conduct.
Well, this was non-discrimination protection for LGBTQ.
Dig into it, Jeremy.
Okay.
It's the section that said that if they want a sex change, the doctor cannot tell them no. And it also said that it's covered under Medicare, so the taxpayers will pay for it. It's an elected surgery.
Okay.
Right. Well, yeah, and I agree with anything. If you want to do something like that, and you're on assistance from the government, it's probably I'm going to go with a no on that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shouldn't be paying for that.
No, because it's not. Well, no, because here's the worst part. No, because it's not the government paying for it. It's us paying for it.
That would be like, Jeremy, in my mind, that would be me walking to a plastic surgeon saying, I don't feel like I'm skinny enough for today's world. I want liposuction. You're not allowed to tell me no, and here's my medical card.
You know what's kind of funny, though, is if you can get a psychologist to state that it's messing with you psychologically, they will pay for it. And so health insurance.
Now I'm going to ask some criminality here. Would that be the psychologist doing illegal actions with their license at that point?
No.
If they're
so you can just walk in, make bullshit up, and get bullshit out of it.
Well, look how many people get the PTSD sticker now. I mean, people who are in a car accident now can say every time they see a certain kind of vehicle, now they're traumatized, and they can get those kind of benefits.
Right.
I mean, that's all been and it's not illegal. It's just all been perverted like everything else.
It's the way the rules have been curved, and yep.
Yeah, so that's why when he wants to cut that kind of garbage out, so it goes back to maybe people who really need the things, and maybe maybe it saves money because now some of that funding that used to go to stuff that probably shouldn't have now can go into real things. I've got no problem with that. And you know what? 90% of the decisions he makes are business. They're not. I don't think for him, from what I've speeches and stuff that's not as on TV as much, when he speaks about something, he doesn't look at any group. He just speaks from a fiscal perspective. Fiscally, he's not. It doesn't. How it affects or doesn't. It's not. This is going to affect that race. It's fiscally speaking. this is the best thing we should do.
So
And you know what? The funny thing is, if it affects rich white business people, nobody goes, "Oh my God, you can't do that."
since we're on Trump, and we're not really hammering on the BLM movement stuff happening or the Antifa stuff movement happening.
Oh, are we really staying away from that one?
Well, hold on.
Okay,
We
cool.
got time. We got time. But I want to ask this question because Jeremy wasn't there. Wait a minute. Jeremy wasn't there this weekend. You and I were there. I don't know if we had this conversation, but conversation came up about a specific type of device that can be purchased. It runs about $300 to $400. It's for a firearm. I know they're scary.
I missed this conversation, so
it's called binary. You know what a binary is? You know what I'm talking about, right? Jeremy, look at the screen.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Sounds like in Terminator or something, right?
It's called a binary. You know what it does, right? You know how it works, right? Okay. And I looked at a couple of guys, and at least one of these guys has in the past, and I believe he's on here. He might even jump up and say, "Shut the fuck up! I don't want to talk about it." But I said, does that not do the same thing about that thing that everybody's all pissed off because Trump's against the Second Amendment because Trump said, yeah, you're not allowed to sell those bumpy thingies? You know, the bumpy thingies? You know,
so the binary trigger, is that the one that does the...
I wasn't trying to throw it all out there, man.
Well, just whip it out. Just rip the fucking Band-Aid off.
We had a conversation about whipping it out, so just go ahead and whip it out.
Binary does damn near the same thing as that bumpy thingy that everybody was pissed off after the Vegas shooting got rid of, right?
It still doesn't make the AR fire any faster, by the way.
Again, you're not telling me something I don't know. But
well, I'm telling anybody watching that may not know.
It's the same damn thing. But how many conservative Second Amendment people said, "Fuck him, I'm done," because he said that, but they don't realize that it's just you can do the same thing.
It's like buying a freaking Judge pistol. It's fun. It's a novice item. It's fun to shoot. But is it really practical? No. Does it do anything different anything else does? No.
It is cool. When you're out in the desert and there's snakes, it's kind of cool.
What are you going to carry that daily concealed?
No, that thing's a freaking brick.
Well, if you run out of ammo, you can definitely throw it.
Back to the point. They can...
Oh, you had a point? Go ahead.
The first thing you have is you have him speaking from the hip. You've got Trump speaking from the hip.
Yeah, he doesn't think. Well, you know, does he think? Does he speak from the hip, or does he just? Is it just the way he writes it? Like, hey, I'm just gonna say.
I'm pretty sure it's just the way he writes it. He may not be speaking straight from the hip, but he talks like we would talk. He talks more like he doesn't politic it. He talks.
Yes,
that's the first. Then you've got the media who edits that down, tweaks it a little bit, and kind of puts it out a billion times a day on whatever platform they possibly can to convince non-critically thinking individuals that he is racist, homophobic, whatever, blah, 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 right? Third thing you have is now you have these, let's call them what they are, NPCs, who constantly, verbatim, repeat the same thing they were told to say hundreds of thousands of times. Case in point, $5,000. $5,000 tax on every round of ammo. $5,000 tax. $5,000 tax.
But that chick's just an idiot.
But if you really go and look, they were told to say that in news articles.
Yeah, I know.
Across social media, she was told to say that or conditioned to say that. So the minute you throw an auctioneer in there and start going 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, the minute you get to going on that, they don't know where to go. So you have three conditions to this to why it is what it is right now. Because you can go right now and you can find video.
Yeah, but everything you just said, to me, everything you just said, anybody with any kind of half a brain would be like, that doesn't make any sense.
You're right. But you remember when I said,
and I don't get that because I don't believe that many people on that side are that stupid.
Hi, can I tell you that we talk to a lot of people, and there are a lot of people on quote unquote this side that are that fucked up in the head?
Well, I get that, but I just don't.
You can't.
I just don't get how
many people.
I just don't get how intelligent. I don't understand how intelligent people have become so stupid.
Because ignorance is bliss, bud.
But it's not, because they're miserable.
No, actually, they're not.
They're told they're miserable.
There's no
people go home to their house. They drive their Bentley back to the fucking mansion. The Hollywood elite sitting on the TV screen in the black and white picture saying how sorry they are. Do you think they go home to their fucking Ram Shack? No, fuck that. They're going back to their goddamn mansion, laughing their ass off the whole way because they know your stupid ass believes what they said, and you're going to see their next movie.
No, I have not. So,
John,
but again,
I'm that guy.
You got to remember, man, we are definitely a slightly different breed.
Well, and as John states it, we are living out the movie Idiocracy. If you look around and you talk to people, and I'm talking on both sides. So this side, and hold on, let me get my hands in the picture here for the people at home because I know the picture's smaller. So there's this side and there's this side. So that window of smarter people and dumb people, the window of smarter people is getting smaller and smaller in the middle, and all the dumb people on both sides are just going around and just headbutting each other like stupid goats.
To bring up the memes, the worst damn meme I've seen in a week was Idiocracy meme with President Camacho, Terry Crews. He's getting blacklisted by the left media because he's not playing by their game.
Well, yeah, because he threw people under the bus that had sexually assaulted him and other things. And you ever had the balls to sexually assault that man?
This meme was... It was the I know shit sucks right now. The whole damn speech at the end, he's got, I got this guy, Joe Biden, got a 3-point plan to fix it all. It was like that's perfect. That's where we are. We're there.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't. And it is, and you're right. It's both sides for sure. I mean, that's the thing that I just don't. Because, and I know we got into a lot of siding tonight, but our side taking the video that Hawk, from BLM in New York did, and they did the same exact thing that the liberal media does to Trump videos, and they just don't, and they got such blinders on, they don't even see it, and they won't. I saw so many posting, and I won't even mention it's an Ohio group. You could tell by their comments, that there's some racist motherfuckers. First of all, and B, there's no way they even listened to the interview. They strictly took the headline of the screenshot and ran with that, and didn't even. I'm guaranteed. Because if you listen to the video, it's every book boy's freaking fantasy. Take back the country. Take back the get rid of the cops. I mean, it was like their fantasy, and they're all over it. Like, oh, we need to get that guy. He's a terrorist. It's like, if you listen to the video, I've heard half you people on that site say the same things. But because simply in the headline there was BLM, that's all it took. That was it. The brain cells shut off, and it was strictly, they're all rioters and looters and terrorists. Well, guess what? They say the same thing about you. They probably said the same thing about the forefathers.
Condition.
It's messed up. It's making me very angry. I have to tell you.
Right.
Until people actually stop drinking the effing Kool-Aid and start looking at what's happening. And here's the sad reality I see from it. There are a lot of people that are out here doing the same damn thing we're doing. Different platforms, different locations. I can tell you right now, I follow a guy he goes by the Gay Republican. He's a gay guy. He's from Ohio. Yeah, I swear to God, the Gay Republican. Every freaking video this guy posts, it's hilarious.
Well, we've met how many conservative, and I would say conservative, not even necessarily Republican, LGBT members have we met at the rallies we've been at? Tons of them.
Shit, Virginia, right. You had the non-binary.
Yeah, the pink pistols were there.
Their pronouns, stomping around looking like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
That was awesome.
Putting a sign that said something about banging your mom, and I made a statement, and I mean, it was a wisecracking back and forth, but they were there for the same fucking reason we were.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of groups there that people won't probably ever admit were there.
Well, why? Because then it doesn't feed the narrative. Because if you keep seeing the narrative from anybody on the left side, you see them saying it was just a bunch of white guys with guns, and if that happened with any minority, they'd be shot down and da 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 da.
So many of those things after that, and you know what's worse is that if you weren't there. And there were there's patriot groups that I actually stopped following after Richmond, just because of the and because none of them were there, and all they did was shit talk about everything that went on, and yet they wouldn't get off their butts and do something, and they're also the first to criticize any other group doing anything. And it's no wonder nothing's changing and it's getting worse. Because the idiocracy it's so out of control right now that people they don't even see it. They just don't even see it.
Well, that's like, and I won't use names. I'm sure some people in the chat.
Oh, go ahead. I'll use it. Go ahead.
No. This stays on the subject, but it kind of veers us a little bit. A Ohio patriot decided to take some of his friends and people and go help do security detail for a LGBT Pride Day.
Oh, he
and
got
the
hammered.
Amount of shit that came from who he thought was friends and family was out of control. Watching even his live feeds of him talking about it and talking about the people that came at him about it. Why are you doing that? What are you going to the other side for? Da 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 da. And he's like, I'm not. They have a right to do what they're doing, and I want to be there and show support for them that they have a right, and I see that.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Palmer's saying right there. Yeah, and it is, and we did it. We've done it all night. It's it's hard for even us to break it, and we see it.
Yes. And I hate it.
The left, the right, it's not only just coming together and moving forward. It's being just we the people, and that's exactly what that individual is doing. And sometimes he doesn't phrase things right, and I think that's what part of the problem becomes. But his whole point was that they're Americans. He doesn't think of them as LGBT or whatever other acronyms you want to use. He sees them as Americans. He knows that there's people out there who get upset when they have parades and have marches. So he was like, well, that's bullshit because they're Americans, and I'm just protecting Americans. I'm not protecting LGBT. I'm protecting Americans who have the right to do what they want to do.
Well, and a lot of it wasn't even why are you going to that side as an LGBT. It was more of because LGBT, and I hate the right and the left thing. They're more a majority of them are left. There's not a lot of conservative. There is conservative LGBT, but there's not a lot.
Is there? But is there really not a lot, or is it just that that's what we're being told?
Or is that they have to, or do they have to be? Because because LGBT community is just like a couple other communities that I'm very familiar with, where if you don't think a certain way, you get
ostracized.
If you don't agree with them.
I'm just going to say it this way. If you are in a community of any style, LGBT, PQFY, communism, socialism, social democratic socialist, any little named group, and you decide to start thinking for yourself, and because of it, you see it all the time in videos where a black American says, you know, I support Trump, and the minute he says it, he's being called an Uncle Tom, or he's being called a porch.
He's not black enough.
Not black enough. I mean, sorry, but that's what Biden said. He didn't vote for Biden, so he's obviously not black. The minute you feel you have been told that you no longer are a part of that community, look up the Heartland Defenders, because I promise you, you're a part of a community. Because there's no community. We're Americans. Just be an American. You show up as an American, every politician that you know of will see Americans. They're not gonna go, oh, let me pander to that guy back in the back corner over there that's not the same color as these guys or gals. Oh, you're wearing a rainbow? Oh, let me pander to you because that guy's wearing a Trump hat, so I'm going to pander to you.
Yeah, and that's you know, and we preached it, but I'll be honest with you, it's so discouraging anymore, because there just seems to be, every time there seems to be a little progress, it just you know like the Floyd thing happened. And now it's just like you're not even starting at zero anymore. You're back down to like -10.
Well, right, and even then, when you look at that, you look at the if you don't agree with us completely, you know, you're ostracized in that aspect as well, where you can't, dude, they're to the point where you can't even say you don't see color, because that's racist.
Right.
Excuse me, what? Because you must have such a good white life, and you're
right.
that you don't get to see the other things, so you must be racist because you're not involved with the things.
I watched a video right before we went live, and that statement just solidified that video. In the video, the guy doing the video basically said that even if you're not racist, you need to be more or less racist. That statement alone. I don't see color. You're a racist. How the fuck can I be any less racist?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's like, why is there this push for this? Because it's not going to. It doesn't further even the way that they bring. I hate to say they, but take a group like BLM, for example. Mm-hmm. There's and it's a lot like guys in probably on in patriot groups. Man, you get them alone in a conversation, and man, you get talking, and you're like, oh, hey, so yeah, I believe this, and he goes, well, that's what I believe. Oh yeah, well, I believe this, and well, yeah, so do I. Well, you have this conversation, and out of 10 topics, you agree on 9 of them, and yet, the minute you try and go back to your people, or he goes back to his people and say, hey, do you know how close we are on this? Oh, no, they're not.
No, so there's a good, so I'm going to bring us back to Saturday Night Live. There's a good Saturday Night Live skit with Tom Hanks on Black Jeopardy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's called Black Jeopardy. It is
yeah,
hilarious. And then the way it even ends is exactly how you just stated that. It's just ridiculous. Like, oh, looks like we got to go to commercial. Good luck, whatever the guy, Hank or whatever his name was. I can't remember what they were calling him, but yeah, it was hilarious.
I'll go back and watch it.
He was country. He's redneck. He had the twang and all of it, and it was everybody else on the scene was black. It was Black Jeopardy, all to do with black culture. He answered every single question, and they're like, "That's right." Like the first one, it was
you pretty cool.
That's right. Second one, okay, that's it.
All right,
it's fun. Yeah, look up.
But
Saturday Night Live, Black Jeopardy.
All right, I'll have to look it up. But it's true. I mean, we've all, well, Jeremy, I mean, you have a diverse amount of friends, and I'm sure you've probably had good conversations with those people, and maybe on a one-on-one basis, maybe not in a group, but you know damn well that there's even some stuff. I'm sure I'm speaking for you here, and you'll have to say yay or nay. But I'm sure there's times that they agree with a lot of what you say, but there's no way in hell if they got into a group they'd say that.
Oh, right. I've had that and then had a similar conversation with same people, but in a larger group of people that didn't feel that way or think that way. And of course, it was like, oh, yeah, no, and they just sit quietly. They don't even yay or nay it. They just kind of sit quietly because that's where being quiet about, that's where, for me, you got to talk. You got to speak up. You got to talk.
Well, that post I made on Heartland the other day, the art of conversation is, because you can't have a conversation because it always turns into an argument. And I'm gonna go with my example that I said, and somebody later on will watch this video and be like, "Oh, you're a racist pig," and whatever. Well, no, and we're getting close. We're getting closer.
Give it 5 minutes. It'll be in the comments.
Yeah.
So you weren't there, Jeremy. I had this simple conversation around the campfire or the other night, or what around the camp. How much different if take the Democratic Party that was behind putting BLM together. The three founders are very Democratic. It was three women who founded BLM, for those of you who don't know.
Did you look up facts? Stop doing that.
I know, it's hard.
That's cheating. Facts are cheating.
Yeah, but if simple, Jeremy, how different would it be if BLM, if it was Black Lives Matter too? Not just Black Lives Matter, but the whole marketing program was Black Lives Matter too. Because like we talked, when you hear Black Lives Matter, what's not maybe you per se, but what's the first reaction a lot of people have? Oh no, how come all lives don't matter, or blue lives matter? Or, that's always the jump argument, right? I mean, and so immediately it's an argument, not a you can't say Black Lives Matter, and then no, because all lives matter. But what if it was as simple as they did? If the whole marketing came out as, which is really what originally the message was, is Black Lives Matter too. You don't get that. You don't get that same argument because they're not saying only Black Lives Matter.
Well, but here's the thing though. Why do we initially assume that when they say Black Lives Matter, they're only the idea of it is only Black Lives Matter? Because
I think it's the visceral reaction to the three words.
But okay.
Maybe not necessarily for you, but for a lot of people, when you say it's the same thing as when anything when you make it a statement like that, it seems closed-ended. It doesn't seem open.
But again, adding the word "only Black Lives Matter," I could see then the response of the knee-jerk response of white lives matter.
Well, no, but if it was Black Lives Matter too, then they're saying that the whole, for me, the whole thing changes.
Well, it does, and I think other people's reactions would change differently to it. But I think the whole Black Lives Matter moniker is to say, hey, look, this is the focus of what we're looking at right now. It's not only we matter or we matter more. They're just saying, look, we matter, and we're trying to show you we matter.
But that one word, it's an exclamation on that statement. That one word added to that, because when you see, it's, again, not us in particular, but when a lot of people see, I mean, we see it, you see it on videos all the time with people that have conversations with the group, people in these protests. Their first reaction is, well, how come all lives don't matter? Because, it's Black Lives Matter.
But the right people from Black Lives Matter.
When you hear that statement, Black Lives Matter, it sounds like only Black Lives Matter. To a lot of people.
But it does, and it does. If you go, if pointing it out, it does sound like that. The problem is, though, is again, they haven't dismissed any other lives. At least the right people in Black Lives Matter. There are some people in Black Lives Matter that claim to be Black Lives Matter that
absolutely.
But the one thing.
But it's amazing. But it's amazing. I guess where my point, back to where Jacob wanted to go in the way beginning, when beforehand, about getting into conspiracies. Isn't there a chance that the marketing was done that way to get that reaction?
I'm sure, because again, if you go back to the conspiracy, Black Lives Matter is funded by Soros, and Antifa is funded through Black Lives Matter and Soros, and so yes, if the conspiracy theories are correct, yes, they're doing it for that reaction because they want to keep people divided. They want to keep people from arguing. They want to keep people arguing. So they want people to look at it and have that initial kick reaction.
Oh, great. And I guess, and that's a roundabout way, that's where I was getting to.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jake.
Is it a conspiracy when you can remember when Black Lives Matter started and the speckling of consistent and pungent videos where it was BLM chanting and an entire group of people just, for whatever reason, chanting on the other side, screaming all lives matter? Do you think that do you really sit in your living room right now watching this video or on the phone in the car, think that everything that's happened in the past, I'm going to go with 20 years, when it comes to the political climate and the social economic climate of our country, has not been conditioned to be right on the edge of the last bit of fuse, and all they needed to do was throw spark?
Well, why do you think so many people have to be on antidepressants and freaking medication? Because of the stress of that little bit of fuse that's always right there.
All I'm saying here is if you really want to, wake up and start doing your own research, take a look at historical spikes in research of BLM or Black Lives Matter. It's a really interesting find, and if we really need to, I'll do the research for you, and we'll pop some video, pop some screens up next week. But it's really funny, back in 2016, when a certain Democratic nominee for president was, kind of getting in trouble for the fact that she had lost a few thousand emails or million emails.
Well, isn't it also a little suspicious that this all popped up again?
Well, just stop, let me get there.
Damn, man, dude, we got 6 minutes left. You're like a snail.
Stealing the thunder.
Stealing the thunder here. Really funny how it spiked up just a little bit. If you watch that bar, nothing. Ooh, she gets in trouble, boom. And then it goes right back down because the trouble went away. Just kind of disappeared. At this point, what does it matter? Going all the way up, all the way across. We get to 2020, and I don't know if you heard it, but, the appeals court denied her shit, and she has to go back to court and under oath say, at this point, what the fuck's the matter? there's a chance she could be tried for treason.
Oh, stop teasing me. Stop teasing me.
It's really weird how BLM went from nothing since 2016 to 2020, and then all of a sudden this huge freaking spike happens, and it's not coming down anytime soon. Really kind of weird. It's kind of odd.
Right.
What they do, just decide that it doesn't really matter anymore?
Well, if you ever notice the conspiracies, and we have to say conspiracies. A lot of people on here are like, why do you keep saying conspiracy?
It's
because if we don't, then if we don't state it as conspiracy, they'll remove our videos based off of what? Fake news.
Yeah. We fact checked that.
We haven't had it happen yet because conspiracy, in our opinion, all these they just replace them with what you know were actually.
In my opinion, it's really weird how they didn't care what happened for at least short of 4 full years, and then all of a sudden they really cared again.
Right.
Yeah. The conspiracy seems to be real coincidental and true.
And I mean,
the conspiracy could be
just a conspiracy.
Coincidental that the alleged individual that may or may not have been.
Does it seem? Let me ask you this: Doesn't it seem that I would say over the last, even probably I would say even just before, the 4 years before Obama, I think even then at the end of Bush, I think that it started to happen. And doesn't it seem like it's almost like the cartoons where the fuse goes and they cut it before it gets there. Doesn't it seem like they keep letting the fuse get closer and closer before they cut it?
Yes.
It's getting closer, then they cut it.
You guys know about the doomsday clock, right?
Oh, of course.
All the scientists, it's a website, the doomsday
I haven't
clock.
looked at it in a while.
We're 2 fucking seconds from midnight.
Okay, I was saying I haven't looked in a while.
So I wonder why we're only 2 seconds away from midnight. Because everything has been stacking lately. You've got the coronas and the now you've got the whole, what happened with George Floyd.
The conspiracy about the corona.
Right.
Wait. Did you guys miss the new one? You got Yellowstone eruption, right?
Right.
Meteors flying towards the Earth.
Uh-huh.
And the newest one, kids, you ready? A black hole ate something so fucking big in space that it made a huge explosion.
Well, yeah, but because the Earth's flat, it's going to deflect right off.
Oh, shit.
So it's like a
Was not ready for that one. So not ready for that one.
Oh, I had to do it.
Oh, but I mean, yeah, and they keep pressuring. I mean, come on, the new one. For a lot of people that are not fully there or educated, maybe or not, they're really worried about what? The dust cloud coming over from Africa.
Yeah, where did the dust cloud come from, dude?
Hey,
where did that come from?
So actually, that happens yearly in the summertime.
I thought so, but I mean, where all of a sudden I started getting shit about it today on my feed. I'm like,
it just hit Florida today.
Remember? Does anybody other than me right now remember the movie Idiocracy almost in its entirety?
Oh yeah.
The fact that they really needed that really smart guy,
right,
to save them with his 3-point plan, because Rondo doesn't help the plants, and they had the Dust Bowl.
What? Water? You mean the stuff that's in the toilet? We're not putting that on our plants. Anyways, it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, damn, I brought up Flat Earth at 9?
Oh,
damn.
Yeah, you did.
Guess we're going to have to save that for next Sunday.
Yes. Next Sunday's title is going to be...
We might even get an expert on it.
Hashtag facts are cheating.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah. We spun down that rabbit hole pretty good. Anyways, let's see here. HeartlandDefenders.com, as you can see on your screen. Heartland Defenders on YouTube and here on Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, just like we always ask every week that we are here.
Yes, please come back every Sunday, when I show up.
Yeah, when we can.
And share the videos, we love talking to the people that are here, but man, we would love to get a bigger audience. So,
share with your friends, share with your family, even if your family don't think the same way you do.
And please come back every Sunday and see us. Bring your flat earth friends.
It'll make a good argument. I mean, conversation at your 4th of July party with family. Anyway.
Yeah.
Christmas is blast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've heard there might be a party in Gettysburg on the 4th, but we'll get into that next Sunday.
Whatever happened to that party that was going to happen in Seattle at Chaz on the 4th as well? We'll talk
since they're
about that
tearing
next
it
week.
down, I guess there's.
Are they finally tearing it down?
I am still seeing posts.
So there's
biker groups going, we're going to Seattle and we're fixing this shit.
Yeah, there's like a dozen homeless people left.
Oh, okay.
What are they going to fix?
I didn't see that yet. Last video I saw.
They're going because of Chaz. I think they're just going to whoop who's ever ass is stupid.
Oh, in Seattle. Well, there are some people in Seattle that could probably use their butt kick. So I'm just saying.
I mean, you've done pissed a lot of people off, kids. Going, oh shit, I'm taking my ball and going home. Doesn't fucking work.
I'm sorry I opened a can. I apologize. We were on our way out. Thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for spending time. Thank you for watching later. Thank you, too, again, for your time. I'm sure you guys are beat after being camping all weekend. I'm sure you're happy to be home, Cosper, after being gone for, what, a week and almost a half?
Yeah, I was home for about a day and a half and then back down to... But, hey, real quick, too, I know because he's watching, I also wanted to thank Mike for hosting us to this weekend. So, he's a good man.
Thank you, Mike. And everybody else, thank you. You guys have a good night and a good week. Please be safe. We'll see you next week, 8 o'clock.
Bye.